Now let's head over to Taiwan.
In the future, the armed forces of this country will have disaster prevention and rescue as their main job. So they have to change their strategy, tactics, their personnel arrangements, their budget.
President Ma paid a visit to the areas affected by Typhoon Morakot yesterday. He joined grieving families at a traditional Chinese mourning ceremony in Shaolin Village, one of the worst-hit areas. It was buried by a mudslide and almost 400 people are expected to have died. Rescue efforts continue, and despite the struggles the nation faces, BNP Paribas predicts Taiwan will lead Asian stock markets higher in the next 12 months. It says the TAIEX index will rise another 43% as ties with China boost trade and investment.
The whole cross-strait trade theme is now giving way to optimism about cross-strait portfolio links. By that I mean direct flow of funds between retail investors from China into Taiwan and also vice versa. And if you look at the domestic sectors within Taiwan, particularly the banks but also the consumer plays, they have already performed magnificently from the March lows, up of the order of over 150%.
BNP's picks include MediaTek, Advanced Semiconductor Engineering, Honhai Precision, Wistron, and Taiwan Cement. Now, let's go to Bloomberg's Tim Kalpin in Taipei for more. Tim, the typhoon has taken over much of the attention of Taiwanese people and the government in the past 2 weeks, but what effect will it have financially and for investors?
Well, basically, in the short term, it means political instability, and no stock market likes political instability. The market has actually fallen a bit this week because we know already that the Ma and his premier want to reshuffle the cabinet early next month. We don't exactly know how that's going to go down. In fact, a lot of the reshuffling will probably be in non-economic areas. They're more likely to be domestic-focused areas, which may include the defense minister who actually offered his resignation yesterday. In the longer term, remember, Taiwan is basically an export-focused market, and all of this really has no effect on the export market per se. So in the longer term, there shouldn't be too much effect. But short term, Ma himself has said that it will impact GDP this quarter. We don't know by how much yet, but there will be a local impact, a localized impact in the short term.
An unfortunate development, but in terms of investment opportunities, where can we look to?
Well, the obvious ones are construction and cement. Billions of dollars of rebuilding will have to be done in southern Taiwan, and that's going to require a lot of, construction equipment, cement itself, rebar, and so on and so forth. So there's an obvious area there. On the flip side, there's not really, it's not really bringing forward any kind of short selling opportunities. Not really too many places where there's downsides per se. The tech sector is not necessarily going to take a hit because of it. So there's a bit of a long side, upside for the construction and cement stocks, but not much of a downside.
All right, Tim Kalpin, thank you so much for that.